Hi, today I'd like to speak on the topic 4 types of relationship trauma. And this may seem like a strange topic because maybe you never thought that a relationship could suffer from a trauma. So we know very much about attachment trauma that happens with children, where at the formative time of their relationship with the parents, if that parent neglected or abandoned or did not show enough attention, that child could be affected for life because of that injury, that attachment trauma that happened at the formative stage of that child's life. Similarly, a relationship can suffer from trauma if something happens at a crucial time in the relationship, such as at the wedding or a time when one of the partner was ill, or maybe a time when you were celebrating an event, but the partner that you wanted to celebrate that big event, that life-changing moment with, just showed indifference. If you are experiencing adverse reactions from your partner at crucial times in your relationship, you could be suffering from a relationship trauma. So here are the 4 types of relationship trauma that you could be experiencing. The first has to do with vulnerability. If you are at a or were at a place in your life where you were vulnerable, maybe you were pregnant, maybe you were sick, and at that crucial time of your life, your partner wasn't there for you, it's quite possible that you're suffering from a relationship trauma. And you may be wondering, why is it that despite the fact that things have gotten better, I still can't feel safe to my partner? It's possible that you're suffering from a relationship trauma. We see an example of a relationship trauma surrounding this issue of vulnerability in the story of Hagar and Abraham. Hagar felt that now that she was pregnant with Abraham's child, that Abraham would have her back. But we know what happened in that passage, that Abraham left her to the mercy of Sarah, and she was not protected. And so it is that in situations where a partner is vulnerable and the other partner isn't there for them, doesn't demonstrate that when you are vulnerable, when you're not at your best, when you are at your weakest, I am going to be there for you, then that creates an attachment injury. So the first has to do with vulnerability. The second type of attachment injury has to do with veracity or truthfulness. And we find an example of this in Genesis chapter 12, where Abraham lied about Sarah being his sister, and by so doing placed her in great danger. He lied to protect himself and placed his wife at risk. So we might not have that kind of lying in relationship today, but we have other types of lying. So for example, you may have been lied to at the formative stage of your relationship when you were just starting to date because you met this person online who claimed that they were 35 years old. And as you got deeper and fell in love and committed to the relationship, you discovered one day that the person wasn't 35, but they were 55. And so that kind of lying is very hard to recover from. That type of relationship trauma is very hard to recover from because the relationship was founded on a lie. It wasn't founded on honesty and integrity. We also see lying in the form of people who didn't disclose pertinent information at the time when the relationship was forming. People who conveniently forgot that they had a child, for example. And then it's after marriage you realize, oh, by the way, I had 3 children in a different country that I didn't tell you about. Or by the way, I had a child at 16, but I gave up that child for adoption, and so I just didn't bother to tell you about it. And so in this situation, there is a relationship trauma that is taking place that is very, very hard to recover from, because now the partner who has been deceived and hurt is going about life thinking, can I really trust you to tell the truth? And the third kind of relationship trauma that I see people suffer from has to do with safety, surround safety. Am I safe with you? And safety can be around finances. Am I financially safe with you? Can we build a future together? Can I trust you with the finances? And so if you're in a situation where one day you discover that the house that you thought was paid for, there is a mortgage that was taken out against your knowledge, that is saying that you're not safe, you're not feeling safe in the relationship. Our safety can be also around being left in situations that left you literally unsafe. I have clients, for example, who said, I was in a strange country, I knew no one, I felt afraid, and my husband or my spouse or boyfriend at the time left me to go partying, and I was scared all night because I'm in this strange place where I knew no one. So if you have been put in a situation where you have been left to feel unsafe, unless that is worked through, you could be suffering from a relationship trauma. And the fourth kind of relationship trauma surrounds priority. Were you made to feel less than at a formative time in your relationship? Maybe it was at your wedding, and at the time when your husband should have demonstrated to you that you are the number one person in his life, the message that you're getting is that his mother was more important or his work was more important. Then this is going to leave you with a relationship trauma, because you're going to go into the rest of this relationship wondering, am I really important to him? Am I number one in his life? So there you have it, the four types of relationship trauma. If you have suffered from one or more of these types of relationship trauma, it's quite possible that even when things are going well, there is still this emotional distance between you. You can never feel close regardless of how hard you try. And you can never feel totally one with your partner. And so if this is the case, you are suffering from a relationship trauma and you need help to get over that hurt, that injury, that trauma that took place in your life. The good news is that these events, these things can be overcome with the right kind of help. I want to thank you for being with us on this podcast today, and I wanted to let you know that we have a new podcast that we post every week. So if you like this podcast and you would like to hear more from us, remember to subscribe to this channel. We also want to remind you that we are a not-for-profit organization who counts on your support to continue to provide subsidized counseling for those in need and to continue to provide podcasts like this. You can also support us at our Patreon page by becoming a Patreon of our ministry by paying as little as $5 monthly. So thank you very much for listening, and may God bless you until we meet again.